hop right in. I know that y'all ain't no strangers to multimedia, you know. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the RPR podcast special because it is the season finale of season 3, and we have two young men that are very astute in what they do, if that's the right contextual word. We have Just Me and Metah, the founders, and not just founders, but participants and lyricists of the Scribbling Idiot. Y'all can go ahead and introduce yourself, where you're from, what it is you do, your strengths and weaknesses, because we like to stay humble around here. And if you want to reveal your superpowers to the world, if you have any, feel free to do that. So y'all can take the floor. It's yours.
I guess I'll go first. I'm just me. Just me. MC, producer, writer, director, and do graphic design too. And wow, my strengths are everything, and my weaknesses are everything. So room for growth.
Yeah. Nice balance there.
Word up. Yeah. What up, y'all? It's Metah, aka Killer Kaz, aka your worst nightmare squares. Nah, I'm just playing. I'm just having fun. Thank you, Jay Classified, for having us. Yeah, man, I'm an MC, producer, in the traditional sense of putting a record together, I guess. Engineer-ish. Live show rocker. Yeah, man, just helping out with the crew, just the behind the scenes dude too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Networker supreme.
Yeah, networker. I try, network and keep the connections moving. So speaking of strengths and moving into that'd be definitely one of the strengths. And just my pen and weaknesses. I'm not the dopest engineer. I'm not the dopest graphic designer. I've tackled it all at times, but definitely try to stick with what I know the best, my strengths. So
yeah,
man, putting good rap songs together, man. Producing a good hit for y'all.
Yeah. The hit specialist. I know. I mean, it's no surprise that the two patriarchs of this wear many hats, right? Because this day and age, it's like you gotta know how to do what you can do. If you go basketball, you gotta be able to dribble, pass, shoot, play defense. If you play baseball, you gotta have a good glove. You gotta be able to bat well, teamwork, hustle. So that's a beautiful thing. And from what I know, Just Me, you're in, I believe, Kentucky, and then Cash, you're in Ohio. Were y'all both born and raised in those respective locations, or were you born somewhere else and then kind of migrated to where you're at now?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Southern California, and once member of Soul Seekers, which was had an affiliation with the Tunnel Rats, and basically in 2001 or 2001, I think I moved to Kentucky, and that's when I linked with Cass.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm from here, born and raised, pretty much. Moved around a little bit, but always end up back home.
Yeah. I know we had talked on previous conversations. You know, I got family from Ohio. Mom Dukes was born in Pittsburgh, and grandparents St. Clairsville, Ohio, Bel Air, Ohio. You know, that whole little area there, and I got peoples in Columbus now, so familiar with Ohio. Taking that trip up from Fayetteville to Ohio on I-95 and going through the West Virginia mountains where you got to yawn and pop your ears, I feel like that was a setting for a horror film, So with that segue, just me, we know what you do on the mic, we know what you do on the boards, but give us a little nugget of what I'm saying, what you did behind the camera. Were you writer, producer, director? And give us the name and where people can check that out, because I haven't been able to support yet. But when that August direct deposit comes, I'm on Prime and I'm finding the joint. Trust.
Word. So a few years ago, I had felt burnt out on music, and growing up, there was always like the big three things that I wanted to accomplish. Is I wanted to make music on a level that on a professional level, and I wanted to make a movie or write a movie, and I wanted to write a book someday. So I decided, well, it'll probably be easier for me to write a screenplay than to write a book. So I read a bunch of books on how to write a screenplay, and it took me a couple months, but I wrote one, and I started showing it to some of my friends that had worked in the industry and stuff like that, and they were like, "This is good. It's a good screenplay. Like, you're not going to get anyone to buy it and produce it on a grand scale, but this could be like a good low budget film." So my wife and I said, let's do it. We'll just finance it ourselves. And so we got a bunch of our friends to be involved in it, in the making and acting and all that in the film. And so what it was Last Holler. It's a horror film. It's super low budget, but it's a good time. It's funny, and I think it's insightful. And you can watch it on Amazon Prime, and you could go to cratehoarder.com. That's our production company, Crate Hoarder Creative, and you can rent it there.
Yeah. Now, when y'all did casting, did you put out the net and try to find different actors and actresses, or did y'all pull from the friendships that you have? Where did the actors come into play?
Word. So I'm of the belief that most people who do music, who've done music videos and stuff like that, can also act in TV and film, and I think we've seen that play out pretty well. So I actually wrote the script for a couple people. I had them in mind when I wrote the script, and then for the people that I didn't, we asked around and we got referrals and stuff like that, and we had people do auditions, and that's how we selected the last few people there.
Yeah.
But some of the major ones, Corey and Connie Hensley are the main characters, and Natty from Cunning Linguist plays a major role in the film as well.
No doubt. That's what's up. Now, did you given writing, production, editing, I would say maybe those are the three pillars of filmmaking, and if there's more, you can let me know. how long did this take you?
So the writing took me a month to 6 weeks, and then the planning, like making a film, it's all planning. Like if you don't have it planned out right, then it's going to be a mess. And because we were doing this with basically no budget, we went to all of the cast and the very, like, the crew was like 3 people, and we went to everyone and said, look, we're gonna shoot this film in like 18 days straight. So because people had to take time off work and stuff like that to do it. So we shot it in 18 days, and then the hardest part was the editing, because it was our first time, and because we didn't have the best equipment and stuff like that. There was a lot to be fixed on the back end as far as audio goes, and basically because it was my vision, and there wasn't anyone that I could find that was, willing to edit the film for, for free, basically, or for a small fee. I just taught myself how to edit and edited the film. It took about a year to edit the film.
Wow. Okay. And I've seen, it seems like you've been getting pretty good reception, because obviously the peoples that read the screenplay, if they didn't feel that way, obviously the proof is in the pudding by some of the responses you've been getting, I assume. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, we wouldn't have made it if we hadn't had good feedback from Jump. And then once you're done with a film or like, or anything creative, right? Once you're done with it and you make it public, it's not yours anymore. You know what I mean? Like it belongs to the audience. So it's just, you just accept what it is and put it out there, and it's up to them what they think of it.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for sharing that, bro. Hey, Cass, I want to touch base first on, because I don't know if I've seen you speak on it since then. You and I can't remember his name. You can put it in there, but you and Pal Bundy did a show up in, I don't know if it's Columbus or Cincinnati. It was like a live studio set show, and this was on the tail end, on the cusp of COVID. I believe this was your first time performing since the pandemic. Tell me what that experience was like, one, especially being like a virtual concert. Because listen, you're one of the hardest working MCs that I know, not in just CHH, but otherwise. And you put in a lot of work to your craft. You put in a lot of work to the planning, preparation, and the execution, and you execute well. And so just tell me a little bit about that, and tell me what that experience was like, and why are you so hungry and so efficient in your execution? Is it the love? Is it the, what is it that is inside of you that brings out this monster, this your worst nightmare times 3, as you put it? Times two, my bad.
Well, squared. Yeah. Worst nightmare squared.
Yeah.
What brings it out of me is zone perfect bars, man. You see these beautiful, delicious, nutritious protein bars. This is where I get all my energy from. And I'll show you how I do it like this.
Straight like that.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Because I'm hungry, son. I'm hungry.
No doubt. Hey, I feel you.
That was a dope little segue for me to get a bite of something. I like how you asked me
go.
how I'm so hungry.
Yeah, man.
So
I try to do what I can.
So to answer your first question, with food in my mouth, because I'm a G like that, the virtual set was constructed by a dude named Grant Gatsby at a radio station, CD 102.9, a local Columbus station there. And
Yeah.
during the COVID pandemic, Grant was, long story short, bringing in like a different group each month, different hip hop act. And so when it was, basically when it was our time, we got the call, got the invite to do it. I think it was like May of that year. And yeah, man, we just set it up. Got the idea to like bring the couch with us and, make it kind of look like the album cover from the Pal Bundy, from the Married with Children set, essentially. So, yeah, just to make it a little more theatrical, because there was no actual audience. You were going to be watching it on TV, YouTube, whatever. So, yeah, just to make it more like make it run almost like more like a play. Like we made like clothing changes like several times. We go backstage and come back out in a different outfit. And just to keep it entertaining to watch, because I don't watch live concerts on YouTube. Like, I don't. So I'm thinking, why is anybody even going to want to watch this? We have to spice it up. We have to do something a little bit different. So that was that. And then I don't know, bro. I just go hard in the paint, dog. Like I always have.
Yeah.
I can't really answer that. Like I just work. Probably my parents instilled a crazy work ethic. Like my pops probably called off work like 5 times his whole life. You know what I mean? Hogels are just built like this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I hear one of the foundational words of what you said is work ethic. Now, you and Just Me, was that something that y'all shared when y'all connected? Was it you saw the skill? Was it you saw that, real recognized real? Was it, spirit recognized spirit? Or was it like, damn, this dude works hard and I can work with that,
It was all that.
How did that, all of that? Cause so he said y'all either y'all met in Kentucky or around that time when he moved down there. What was that origin story like? Not necessarily of Scribbling Idiots, but the origin story of how you two came across each other's paths.
Who's telling it, me or you, Just?
Either or.
We've told this story so many times.
I believe he's like, yo, check the YouTube interviews, bro. There's like 7 of them.
No, I want you to tell it, Kaz. I tell it all the time, bro.
Yeah. All right. Well, if my dog is shut up in the background, there's a plane outside like flying and just keeps doing loops. I don't know if it's like a crop plane or something, if you can keep hearing it in the background, but when I was just walking the dogs before the interview, I was watching it. Oh, okay, well, yeah, my dog's probably tripping on that out the window. So anyway, this is what you get when you interview Metah. You get that real life interview, man. We don't sugarcoat nothing. We get you reality here in the Hogel household. Yeah, bro, it's Thuggish Ruggish Thursday up in here. We're keeping it all the way Thuggish Ruggish.
I love it.
All right. So the Just Me and Metah origin story, it happened at Scribble Jam. Was it 2002? Scribble 02 or 01?
Yeah, somewhere around. No.
02. It had to have been 02 because I think I already had Key to. Yeah, because I had just put Key to Life out, my little EP.
Yeah.
And you had just put out Brutally Honest. So, like, that's, anyway, yeah, like, we met at the Marsville merch table, man. I think, did Listener introduce us, or?
Yep.
Good old Dan Smitty.
Listener? Okay, so, yeah. Yeah, buddy. But, yeah, he introduced us, and I already knew who Justin was from being Sage from the Soul Seekers, because I was already a super head, you know what I mean? So I was already banging their stuff off of mp3.com from courtesy of sphereofhiphop.com. So man, I was like, oh, you're Sage. You said eternity burns in me fervently, serving he who spoke assuredly without mics in. And he's like, yeah, that's me. Like, he probably about farted and puked at the same time. He didn't know what to do. It was just like the weirdest thing to have somebody from, you know, all the way out here like know your raps. And I get that feeling because the first time it happened to me, I bugged out too. But that was like years later. But anyway, yeah, man, that's how we met. Scribble Jam, and we just, you know, why would you not want to be friends with me if I know your raps? So he's definitely gonna like snatch me up right away and like get my number and be like, I want to be friends with you. Nah, man, we just started building on the music, and like I told him I could help get him some shows out here because even though I was just starting out too, I was running that relationship game. I was trying to, you know, build. So I probably sold it for more than, you know, yeah, because we ended up doing some whack shows, bro. We did so many like pay your dues shows, it's ridiculous. I mean, rapping for nobody but the people that's there, if that, like type shows. But yeah, we paid our dues, man, and we just started building, and he helped me record, you know what I mean? I didn't have a studio at home at the time. So it just started nurturing it that way. Like we would do shows together. I would drive down to his spot and we would record. And then we were like, yo, we should have a song that we record together because we're, you know, doing all these shows. So that's how the song Buy My CD came about. It was just me's brilliant idea, you know what I mean, to come up with this song that's like a little promo thing to help hustle $5 or $10 to get a little bit of gas money because we spending $50 to get here. You know what I mean? So it's just it built like that, man. And then next thing you know, Scribbling Idiots was born. So
yeah. So tell me this. I mean, you said around 2002, and Scribble Jam was held at the time in Ohio, correct? Or no?
Scribble Jam was always in Cincinnati.
Yeah. And so who was like the MCs that were the main attractions that year? You know, is this like for some reason, and I know this is totally off base, but for some reason I get like the vibes of like the Source battles with like Shells and Idea, like type like real raw MCing, elite lyricism where not for the people by the people, but for the heads by the heads type shit. Like what was the vibe of Scribble Jam in 2002?
Man, I don't remember who the main acts were that particular year. I can tell you different acts that we saw within a few years of that. Like, you know, we saw Boot Camp Click and Evidence and Lyrics Born and man, who
Rhymesayers was always real big out there.
Yeah, Rhymesayers is always like that was a given.
Like they were like when I think about Scribble Jam, I cannot think about like Rhymesayers and a lot of those underground dudes because you got to see them grow, you know, each year. Like I got to see the first time I saw Slug perform was Thursday night at Top Cats on the first night, like on the small stage, if you will. And then it's like the next year, okay, he's on Friday afternoon. And then the next year they're on like Friday night, like headlining. It's just like every year you got to see Atmosphere grow and build there. Brother Ali, the same thing. Those two
Mac
really stick out in my mind. Idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just talking about the battles, like you specifically, because they had performance, you know, artist performances, but then they had the MC battles, the DJ battles, the B-boy battles, and it was all elite. You know, we're talking all genres of hip hop, all elements. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was just fascinating. It was top tier lyricism, B-boys, DJs, everything you want. Like you could get your whole fix of that type of hip hop at an annual event, and you'd be good for a while after you left there for sure. It was and merch. Like I was always come out of there with a stack of CDs like this. You know what I mean? Some new, fresh underground stuff you never heard of before. So yeah, man, Scribble was epic. It was everything to me. I was so sad when it quit happening, when they shut it down. So
yeah, it was unlike anything, you know, and just crazy memories of just chopping it up with people. You know, I can remember, you know, standing in the back of the crowd when, you know, because there would be like the main stage going on, but then like they would have a break where they would go inside and do like, you know, a DJ set for a while or something like that, and you know, certain MCs would be like, I don't care about this DJ set. Let's go start a cypher. I can remember standing in the back one time and R.A. the Rugged Man walking up and being like, who want to freestyle? You know, like, so
yeah,
crazy stuff. And it was great for networking because you could network, you could meet all kinds of people. And usually, you know, and because it's like so underground, like centric, you know, like it was geared towards underground hip hop. Like generally it was, you know, cats were humble and you know, just sometimes I think surprised that they had like, oh, I have a fan base here, you know.
Yeah. So I think, you know, since then, and I'm not even sure of the time frame of this, but you think about stuff like Rock the Bells. And then you think about now Just Me, you might be familiar with this since you was born in SoCal. I don't know how long you were out here, but, you know, Merce is putting together, I think it's called Thop Fest. And it's been around a couple of years. And, bro, when you look at that name, those names, it's like the Woodstock of hip hop. Like, it's crazy. And one name that jumps out, you know, specifically is Zane. Zane One from Tunnel Rats is on that bill. And, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of heads that have a huge platform, and I assume the heart behind it is going to be the same in terms of, you know, walking amongst just hip hop culture and just livelihood, because a culture is living, right? A culture is a lifestyle, is living, and it's a beautiful thing to see a breath of fresh air being breathed into the lungs of hip hop, you know. So I mean, you don't see stuff like that a lot, and depending on where you're at, location wise, you have to either hop in a car or get your butt on an airplane to seek these places out, you know. But what I want to do now is that unless y'all got something else to touch on with that, if y'all are good, I really want to jump into the nooks and the crannies and the meat here. And you know, you both have albums out. I know Cass is the king of the rollout game, and he's dropped a couple of the singles from your project that you've done with Theory Has It. And Just Me, you have a project with Shiesty Christ, which I believe is from the 518, if I'm not mistaken, or is that wrong?
No, Shicey's from right here in
okay.
Yeah, he's from right here in Lexington. So
okay, that's dope. So yeah, tell us about what you just held up. Let them see it one more time, Cass, for the people in the back, bro. It's I'm excited. I've listened to.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Now who got down? Who got down on the
fluid?
Who got down on the artwork for you for that?
Just me, man. Just me, bro.
Of course. Let's go.
This guy.
Now, did you do the single covers too?
Yeah.
Okay, no doubt.
Yep.
So take us through that. How many tracks we looking at with this one?
It's just a 7-song EP.
Okay. And I know you really I wouldn't even say left field. I would say visionary type when you came up with the 3P series. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Your consistency, and I think you transitioned to this. You may not have, but I think you transitioned to only dropping it on Bandcamp Fridays, which is, to me, if you did that, was genius. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where, you know, we put our blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah, we put our blood, sweat, and tears into our music. And, you know, granted, Bandcamp is hosting, but if they take that little percentage out, that might have been enough for like an Egg McMuffin a couple weeks later. You know what I'm saying? Those little cents start to add up, you know? So what is there
counts,
a certain...
Man, so...
Yeah. Is there a certain heart behind this? Was there a concept, or did you just say, you know what, let me bar out, let me show these kids what I do, let me do it well, and here you go?
So the 3P came about by just having a lot of songs. Like at first, it came about by having almost too much stuff sitting around, just collecting dust. The first 4 volumes, stuff I literally just had already, and it just the whole releasing once a month thing isn't really new to us. I did the Metah monthly, and we did the Scribbling Idiots monthly years ago. So it's just kind of resurrected that whole model. But it was just during COVID, man, and they started doing the Bandcamp Friday. So it just was one of those light bulbs that was like 2 or 3 light bulbs, if that makes sense. And it's just like, let me get some of this stuff out of the vault, get it out here, take advantage of this Bandcamp Friday thing, take advantage of this COVID thing. And yeah, but then once I got the ball rolling and had a few out, I had to start making some new songs too as I was going to keep up with the whole 3. Like I may have had 1 or 2 songs from a producer there, but I had to finish the 3rd one type joint. So, or just had to finish the songs in general. So yeah, I had some songs with Mouth Warren on there, and and brought in some collaborators too to help it out, which always helps finish the song if you don't have to do it all yourself. But I did do several solo songs for it, and yeah, man, collaborated with my man D1. Once I started bringing him into the fold around like volume 6, and he started like having my mixes sounding crispy and crazy, like I was just like, oh yeah. Then I started trying like new, like not new sounds, but like sounds I haven't played with in a while, like making songs that sound like more like field specialist songs, if you're familiar with that side of what I do. A little bit more commercial, radio friendly sounding stuff. I started, because I was like, oh, I got an engineer who can like make this sound like how I kind of want it to sound. So then we just start going crazy, just trying all types of new stuff, which I'm still doing, but that's for later down the road.
Yeah, for sure. So just me, let us know a little bit about this project with Shiesty Christ, and even a little breakdown, whatever you want to reveal here, because sometimes we like to let the art speak for itself, but give us some context to it.
Cool. No, it's actually a cool story. About 10 years ago, so Shiesty and I, for context, Shiesty and I are best friends. We've been working on music, and we had our own band for a while and everything like that for a long time. And we had decided that we were gonna form a group and do a record in about 10 years ago. And about 4 months into the process, I basically was like, what are we doing? Like I don't want to just keep making music. Like we need to have a goal, in mind. And it was just 2 different philosophies. Shiesty was more like, I just want to record a bunch of music, and then we'll find the album in recording a bunch of music. And I don't really work that way. So we had all these songs sitting on my hard drive for 10 years, and we occasionally we'd get in the studio and be working on something, and he'd be like, bring up that song, that we did, or bring up this song or play another one, and but we never did anything with it. And honestly didn't think we would. Like, just figured this stuff would just never see the light of day. And was talking to Kaz one day, and I guess just telling him like, yo, I kind of have the itch to do something again. And I said, look, I'm gonna send you these tracks, and you tell me if you think like there's an album there. And I sent it to him. He listened to it. He was like, heck yeah, it's an album. So I said, okay, well, help me out. And so Kaz actually sequenced the record and hooked us up with his engineer D1, and then D1 really sort of worked his magic on the record, like, you know, because a lot of these songs we didn't even have the stems for. They were just stereo mixes, and but you couldn't tell that now. If you listen to the record now, you couldn't. So, and anyway, there's it's actually done and ready to go. That's what that one looked like.
Yes, sir. Now, what's the title? It's Gem Rats.
Gem Rats is the name of the group.
What's the heart behind that?
Yeah, it's a play on words. You know, we like double entendres and stuff, so it sounds like gym rats. You know, like something you know what a gym rat is. You stay in the gym all the time, and but we like, you know, we drop gems, so you know, we scrounge for those gems, and so it's a sort of a double entendre, and the name of the project is Hidden Gems. The 13 demos, because we recorded this in 2013. So nice. So yeah, it's we're pretty happy with it, and looking forward for people to hear it.
Yeah, I think one of the things I heard you touch on was I don't usually work like that, right? So when you have different artists, creative process is different. Different artists putting projects together is different. Recording is there. It can be so different. And with y'all, not just y'all two, because y'all have some albums together. This wasn't the first time I was introduced to y'all separately, but the first time I got y'all together was the one. It's just called Just Me and Cass Metah, and y'all standing outside. Looks like it's somebody's crib, maybe. I think there's like a yellow shirt and a blue shirt, and y'all just posted. And that was like, and I was telling Cass about that. He's like, bro, that's the old. He was like, go to that Killer Cass band camp. You can let's get some fresh stuff. But I said, bro, this is still, you know, hip hop. Some hip hop is timeless. You know, especially when we come from particularly an eternal worldview. You know, our whole mindset is different, in my opinion. And even if you don't subscribe to that philosophical belief, I believe all beings are eternal in our essence. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's cool. And sometimes when you are just pushing out music, if you're not in ciphers or if you're not rhyming on your own, that helps keep the sword sharp. You know what I'm saying? It keeps the creative juices flowing, keeps the sword sharp. So I'm excited to check that out as well. And so Cass, working with Theory on this, were these remix songs? Were these songs that you wrote particularly to the beat? And also I want to know for both y'all, do you prefer writing to the beat? Can you write without a beat with a metronome and a BPM in your head, and then you can fit it wherever? Like, I find for me it helps me freestyle more when I write without a beat, because then when I get a beat I can be loose and fluid with my cadence and how I deliver it. So I want both of y'all to touch on that question, but first, Cass, go ahead and tell us a little more about this album you got, Writer Fluid.
Word. The Writer Fluid project is you know, it's mostly just, you know, we have more songs than this. I ended up cutting it down, but just to try and, you know, for cohesive sake or whatever. But yeah, man, I mean, I've been writing the Theory beats for years, man. Some of these, you know, are kind of like how Justin was saying, just older, you know what I mean? And like, you know, just I knew I was putting together a record with Theory. It's just I juggle a lot of stuff, man. So once I finally like tapped in and was like, all right, this is what I'm finishing for 2022. You know, I linked up with Theory and just let him know that this was, you know, look, I'm finishing this record now, you know what I mean? And started communicating with him a little bit. He did you know, went back and, you know, retouched some beats, a couple of them, but mostly, you know, like the Stripes remix with AC Alone and A+, that song was on an EP I did with D1 and Soul C's called You Cannot Be the King, the original.
Familiar with that.
That's the only
Familiar
one like
that.
he actually remixed. But But yeah, man, it's just battle raps, bro. It's not this is not if you like that reflective, like poetic, like type of, emo Meta stuff, this one ain't for you. I'm just barring fools out, double entendres, similes, metaphors, man. This is just rap. So I give that disclaimer ahead of time for this is for the rap fans, man, and because I that's just what I wanted to do with it. That's the vibe of the beats to me. Is like these are just head nod dope beats. You know what I mean? So
for sure.
Anytime I go into a project nowadays, I try to have like a theme for it. So yeah, like Rider Fluid just was a play on words of lighter fluid. You know what I mean? Like you can see Justin and I think a lot alike. With the which is why when we do albums together, we work so well together because we work alike. I feel like a lot of ways like in a lot of ways I was taught by this guy. You know what I mean? Like I did have a little bit of my own chops before I got with him, but once I got with him, those chops was like samurai swords. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it just, iron sharpens iron, man. You know the saying. So. Yeah,
I feel like, this is one of your songs. Just we got the advertisements popping off today. We don't got no ads.
Dude, man, I get paid
to go forward. Hey, let's go.
Man, they paying me. They paying me.
Hey, I feel you, man. When you were saying who this album was for, I think this is a song you did, but it's like no. This is for the real rap fans. You know what I'm saying? And if not, that's still a song that's playing in my head. I think about. I feel like also that sounds like a man-child type vocal tone behind it, but I feel like it was a Scribbling idiot joint. So that's dope, man. Who knows? Touching on battle, right? I'm not big on the Twitters, but I hop in there when I can. Mainly using for advertisement now. And at time I was putting up some freestyles, but then I felt like, bro, this is like a writer's community. You can get some traction, but go ahead and delete all the video because I'm still learning, trying to not compartmentalize. I don't feel like there's a difference between to take it to another level, sacred and secular, right? So one of the things I threw out there was like, what if there was a CHH battle league? Because we know there is CHH or hip hoppers that are of the faith. Some may not even put that title on themselves because I know I had an issue with that at one time because I didn't want to be put in a box, right? The very people, essentially, I want to reach the fans of hip hop, and I want to reach those that I would say do not know, don't have a relationship with God. You know what I mean? So that's my heart. But, and you think about the Four Horsemen. I don't know if y'all are familiar with them. Loso, Street Hymns, A-Ward from Kansas City, and the Saga. They're holding it down. I don't know if they're in URL yet, but they've done some stuff here and there, and they're the only like outspoken Christians that are doing it. But I had a battle with a dude, Doctrinal from Christ-Centric. He, posted some freestyle from 2017 where he's like, I can't mess with you if you read the ESV. It's da-da-da-da. And so I, recorded, did a reaction, and then I spit a little 16. I'm like, bro, I said, if King is the James that I said, if James is the king that you're following, you on the wrong page. And I just kind of went off. But he's my homie. We did shows in Baltimore. But is a Christian hip hop battle league far-fetched? Is that less conducive? Is it hindering, or is it built up and say, you know what? Yeah, we Christian, but you know what? We got bars too. Now pay attention. Or would people get too much in the flesh and tear each other down where the word says edify, only speak what is good for building up? To me, if we battling, then, Dak said we battling, not warring. There's a difference, homie. So it's like if I'm iron sharpening iron, getting my skills off, what's wrong with that? Especially if we know what we're here for. Who cares what the public perception is? I know what I'm doing. I know I'm not coming after your family. I'm not trying to, tear you down. What do y'all have to say to that? If you have any thoughts at all, or if you're just like, hey, I don't care. Like, well, how do y'all feel about that?
That battling is part of hip hop. Period.
Yeah.
Like that's so don't if you're not gonna do it or you don't want to be a part of it, then that's not hip hop. And don't call it hip hop. You can just make rap music that's not hip hop. But
yeah,
as far as the culture goes, battling is part of hip hop, and whatever your element is, that's you gotta be a part of it. You know what I mean? Like, and we don't, obviously Scribbling Idiots, we never drew those lines. We blur those lines. Like, we don't, or whatever you want to say about spiritual and secular, and we could care less about that. You know what I mean? Yeah. We are who we are, and we play in both fields. If anything, what we've tried to do is challenge the Christian side of of the industry, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Man, I hate to do this, but I'm gonna have to bug out for a second. But I'm gonna try to jump back in, but I absolutely have to cut out for a second.
All right, no worries, man. You still got the link in your message, so if you want to hop back in, we'll be here. Unless Cass got to go in a bit. We 46 minutes deep. Maybe we'll shoot for like 55 or an hour. So next 15, 20 minutes, we'll still be rocking out, bro.
Cool. Hey, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you, Jason. And
yeah,
man. Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming through, brother.
Peace.
Yeah, man. So, how do you feel? Do you kind of feel that, are you in the same kind of school of thought as Justin with that one, or what do you think?
Oh yeah, man. I honestly, bro, I haven't paid attention to that. I haven't drew that line in so many years, man. Like,
yeah,
we definitely got I think a lot of people know us from that side, from getting on, like, in the early days when we were in our 20s, doing stuff affiliated with Sphere of Hip Hop and Elect. But even in those days, while we were building our buzz, we were still doing like bar shows. We were doing church shows and bar shows. So we've always, like he said, played in both fields. And a lot of Christians don't like that, bro. They call us carnal and they call us hypocrites, and it's like, bro, like, we're human beings. We're mere mortal. Like, that's what we push. You know what I mean? That's why I titled that project with Syntax Mere Mortal, and that, if you listen to my lyrics, is abundantly clear. Like, that's how I feel. Like, everybody's human. The duality of man is so real. So many men are scared to take off that mask, and they always want to play like it's, like it's all good. And a lot of dudes, everybody's got their own view on it. You know what I mean? But we don't really get hung up on it anymore. Like, the days of being hung up on that are like completely over with me. Like, it's either respect my change or respect my evolution, I should say, because I've evolved, right. You know what I mean, as a person. Am I still a believer? Sure. But, like, am I a holy roller, like, super? Nah, man. Like, I can't be that, dude. Like, that's just really not me. Yeah. You see me, I'm in the Bone Thugs gear right now. Like, I just gotta be me. I'd rather be me and wear my heart fully on my sleeve, and you can either ride with it or you can hit the exit sign. It's all peace with me. I don't hold a grudge against people who want to only listen to, like, edifying music. That's perfectly fine. There was a point in my life when I was definitely on that level. You know what I mean? But, so, hey, pray for me, I guess. If you want that old Metah back, you're gonna have to pray for me, because we're just evolved as men now. We're still believers. We don't get hung up on drawing a line, man. Period. So,
yeah, and what a hindrance that question, can be,
my brother.
Yeah, absolutely. That was well said. I think sometimes that can be a hindrance for people, almost to a point where it sacrifices their freedom. Like, they don't realize, like, listen, man, there's a lot of freedom to be had out here, and like to say, not like freedom like I'm out here willy-nilly, you know what I'm saying, going wild out here in these streets, but it's like, not
we
grow up.
We living by grace, bro. Like, we living by grace.
Yeah.
Like, we understand. Look, the way I see it is like, if you really read your Bible, son, and you really, like, understand it, and you understand the freedom that you're given through grace, and, like, Jesus dying on the cross for you, like if you understand that, you can live more fulfilled and you cannot be so boxed up. You know what I mean? And so I know sometimes I get like, I'm not the best at explaining it, but I know God knows my heart. You know what I mean? And I know, no, we ain't out here wilding out, bro. We ain't out here going to strip clubs or whatever people do. I don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't out here doing that. You know what I mean? But we are fragile human beings. We make mistakes, and we just rather just live it all out in the open for you. We cuss. Like, a lot of people got problems with that. You know what I mean? Like, we was cussing, bro, before 2002. You know what I mean? For a long time, we kept our music 100% clean because we were performing in churches. We were getting Christian radio play, and so like we were willing to respect that line. We were working with labels that weren't going to put us out if we were saying crazy stuff, you know what I mean? But we still don't go crazy with it. But if we feel like dropping shit in a rap, I'm gonna say it. Like, I'm sorry, like I'm 40 years old, man. Like, if you got your kids in the car, maybe don't listen to Metah when you riding. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is nowadays. But we're not super foul with it. You know what I mean? So anyway, a lot of my features, I think like, and just to touch on like features, like I used to make sure I always told features don't cuss on it. Now I'm not gonna edit nobody, man. I'm not gonna like that's your freedom of speech, man. Like, say how you feel. Like the song with Corrupt is dropping. It's got some bombs in it, man. But
I'm excited for that one.
Don't listen to it if it ain't your cup of tea. Yeah, man.
So
me too, bro. Like,
your discography is so lengthy, man. You got such a body of work. And the thing that's funny is, like, it's not like you have some hit or misses. Like, it's all killer, no filler. You know, like, no pun intended. There's a few. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. It's like, you know, going back to your work ethic. You know, it's one thing. It's one thing to hop in a studio, to do shows, to build these relationships. But one of my favorites that you have, you know, you spoke on D1, and I think you said Soul Seeds, was that Beta King. And the one song where it's like dun, 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 you cannot pay the king, dun, dun, dun. Bro, that's like, honestly, like I said, I love all your stuff. I hit play. I'm never disappointed. But that album for me, you know, when we first started talking today, that album, like the album artwork flashed in my mind's eye, and that song, dun, 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 I was like, I gotta tell him I appreciate that. So salute you for that, bro, because that piece, and then you put the instrumentals out too, man. I was like, man, this is crazy right here. This is crazy. So, I want to do something.
D1, man, he's crazy.
I want to do something briefly. This is just what we like. Oh yeah, and Soul Seeds was the one that was singing some of the hooks and stuff too, right?
Nah, Soul Seeds is the producer.
The beat? He's Okay. Yeah,
D1
man,
is the guy singing all the hooks.
Okay, got you. I shared, you know.
I got a mad echo. Like, my stuff ain't coming into you until after I say it. I apologize. That's why we keep getting cut off. I'm not interrupting you. It's just the way that it, like, there's a delay. So I'm not interrupting you, homie. I don't do people like that. You know what I mean? But I do notice that on my end. It's like, you have to keep stopping, and it's like, I'm not interrupting you. It's just a mad delay on my end, so I do apologize. I tried to fix it. I did fix it on my end. I got the echo out of my ear, at least, like the echo of your voice, like a while back. So that was going to drive me crazy if that kept doing that. Thank God that stopped.
I know. So. I know. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. But I get it. Like, earlier when we were talking, I was like, he's using this dramatic pause to his. He's really dramatic pausing out here in these streets, and then I'm like, nah, there's just a delay.
Super delay. I know how to talk to people better than that, man. I was raised better than that, but there's a mad delay here.
Yeah. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this little 45-second. I like to call it a speed round, if you will. I'm gonna name one or two things, and you first thing come to mind, boom. And if you want to elaborate on your answer, feel free to do so, but don't feel obligated to elaborate on anything. That's why it's like a hot flash round type joint. So first we gonna go.
Let's go.
All right, bet. So we gonna go. Man, I want so many places to start. Field specialists or scribbling idiots?
What you mean, or?
Both of them.
Exactly.
All right, bet. So, NBA or NFL?
I don't care. I don't watch
All
either
right.
one of them, bro, honestly.
Yeah, I appreciate the honesty.
But I like basketball better, I guess.
For sure. Books or movies?
Ooh, man. I like both, honestly.
Would you go mountains with snow or beaches with sunshine?
Dang. I like both, but I mean, if I gotta pick one, I'd probably try and do some mountains with the snow, because I don't get to do that a whole lot. I feel like beaches is like growing up, like we went and did the Florida Myrtle Beach vacations like all the time. So I've been done that. Like, yeah, take me somewhere different. Take me to Alaska.
Yeah.
Take me to take me over to Solsi's spot he lives over in Switzerland. That'd be dope.
Oh yes. That y'all got to do a European tour. I know you've been out there a few times. Would you go UGK
I ain't been to Europe.
Or 8 Ball? Oh, okay. I thought SI been out there at least once. So would you go UGK
not
or
me.
8?
Go ahead.
UGK or 8 Ball?
UGK
or 8 Ball and MJG?
8 Ball and MJG. 8 Ball MJG.
Yeah,
sure.
He said, I need a head doctor and I don't mean a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
And then
for the record, like 8 Ball and MJG is huge to me. Like big influences for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that space age pimping, man. Those dudes are crazy, man. Now, if you had to pick one in the Dungeon family, who would you go with in the Dungeon family? Can you narrow it down?
Just one?
Pick 3.
Just one? Dog, Dungeon is, bro, that's, woo, just 3? I mean, CeeLo, Andre, those are going to be the top 2, but the third one could probably rotate. Like, dang, man, I probably got to just give it to Big Boy. Yeah.
Right. No doubt.
Yeah.
So welcome back. So we went through 3 hot button topics. I'm gonna shoot them at you real quick so you can catch up. So the first was NBA or NFL?
NFL.
Books or movies?
I can't call it.
Just say both.
Yeah, both.
UGK or 8 Ball and MJG?
UGK.
3 from the Dungeon family.
3 members?
Yeah. Or crews. It could be 3 crews, I guess, if you want to use a loophole.
See.
I didn't give him the full length.
All right.
So I could have said Goody Mob as a whole instead of having to. I hate you.
There ain't no rules here.
Changing my answer.
There ain't no rules here.
All right. Andre, Cujo, and Big Boy.
No doubt. So you got to update a list for that one, Cash. You got to update.
If I could just group them together, heck yeah, I'm saying Outkast, Goody Mob. That way I can put that. That's, you know what I mean? That's 2.
You could say that. You could actually
the third one can.
You could almost rotate. Get the whole crew. You could almost get the whole crew by naming. Let's say Outkast, Goody Mob, and Organized Noise.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, shout out to Witch Doctor and Cool Breeze though.
Shout out to Witch Doctor, Society of Soul.
Yeah.
JOY.
Cool.
Yeah, PA.
What do you say? Cool Breeze, the coolest cutter at camp.
Big Rube.
Young man. Young man. So this was the last one. The sunny beaches or the snow in the mountains?
Beaches for me.
Yeah. So I want to touch on this, and then I have a follow up. Cass, I don't know. I have the album around here somewhere. I don't think you were on it, but tell me about the Fallen Czar project. Tell me about that, because that was a beautiful piece of work. Okay, that's what I thought. And then 2, it was for a wonderful cause, right? So for those that don't know, because this may be a little diamond in the rough. I mean, if you're an SI fan, you know what time it is, but you know, it may have been something that kind of went under the radar, and I want to give it its just due. I want to, as it were, I want to give that project and the story behind it its flowers, as they say.
Word. I know you addressed this to Kaz, but Falling Czar was I kind of spearheaded that one. So to be honest, how it came together was Theory Has It and Sev Static were working on some stuff together, and Wonder Brown and I kind of bogarted our way into that, and then and the idea. So the title "Falling Czar" came from a friend of mine. His name was Eric Place. He was first friend I made when I moved to Kentucky. He was a coworker of mine, and he passed away suddenly, unexpectedly. He had a lot of medical issues, and but when he passed, it was very surprising, and he had left a wife and a young son. So in that Falling Czar was like a cool idea for a band that he had come up with. So we named the project Falling Czar as an ode to him, and then we agreed to donate all the proceeds to his family, and so that's the story behind that.
Yeah, man. Well, big ups to Plastic for doing that, and much love to your homie that passed on, and I hope and pray that his child and his wife are still doing well, to this day, because not to be cliche, but to get on dad prayers, it is bigger than hip hop. You know what I mean? It's a lot bigger. There's more at stake than we realize, and life is precious, and we don't. Humans in a broad spectrum don't value the sanctity of life right now. I don't know if they ever did, to be honest. So that's pretty crazy. If y'all have anything else you want to share, you want to get off your mind, feel free to do so now, because we tapping in on an hour, and like I said, y'all grown men with families and loved ones, and I want to respect your Thursday afternoon. So yeah, if you got anything, now's the time.
Man, well, we're just grateful for you asking us to be on. Oh, that's a good call. That's a good call right there. So
yeah.
So a couple days ago, Deacon the Villain and I released Tragedy and Dope on vinyl for the first time. So super limited edition, the transparent red with the black splatter, and there are a few left still. They're still available on the Cunning Linguist Bandcamp, but you better get them now because they're flying. And in fact, we were I don't know if we currently are. I haven't checked it in a few hours, but we've been number one on Bandcamp in the hip hop category for the last couple of days. So props to everyone who's been supporting, and we appreciate it, and I appreciate Cass for bringing it up, man. I don't know how I could have forgot that. I've spent the last couple days watching these things get boxed up and shipped out. So,
yeah, no doubt.
That's why I'm your partner in crime, bro.
That's my brother, man. Right there. You said it's bigger than hip hop, man. We are more than crew. That's family. So, and we're all connected. We're all connected, no matter what you believe. So,
yeah, man.
Yeah, facts. That's big, bro. Yeah, man. Other than Rider Fluid coming out, I'm just gonna jump into it. Sorry, here goes that delay again. My bad. I'm just gonna jump into it and go ahead and give you the exclusive, news drop that I haven't given anybody yet. I'm gonna give you the exclusive. September 25th will be the 15-year anniversary of Providence Road, which is a solo album I did. Came out on End of Earth Records, September 25th, 2007. So the CD, you know what I mean, has been out of press for a while and out of stock or whatever. But I finally I got the art files from the label from Trey Kills. So boom, we got it back in stock. It'll be coming, in September. I'll probably drop it. I'm not trying to push it yet because I'm still pushing Rider Fluid on it, and then I'm helping Justin push Tragedy and Dope and Gym Rats. It's too much at once. So, but I figure I'd give it to you because, we got to give you something exclusive. Whenever I do an interview, I try to give the people something exclusive. You know what I mean? Let them know something. So, yeah, that's coming. You'll be able to get that on Bandcamp. Anybody that missed that, years ago, or any new fans that want to cop the CD copy, it'll be there.
Yeah, man.
Coming in September.
No doubt. I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all. Here at the RPR podcast, we always like to close out in prayer. So, Father, I just thank you for this time. I thank you for Justin. I thank you for Taylor. As you continue to bless their families abundantly, continue to let the creative juices flow. May we love, may we live, and may we live it well. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen.
So, man, fellas, this was wonderful. Like I said, this was the season finale here. I'm on my third season. I'm probably almost 30 episodes deep. I started on June 1st. So I'm excited. This is a new lane for me. I mean, I do this all the time with my friends. I talk to 5 different cats an hour at a time on video chat. I said, you know what? Everybody's doing a podcast these days. I know how to communicate. I know how to pull things out of people. I'm an artist. I can come from a different viewpoint. So why not? You know what I'm saying? Let's get it cracking,
Congrats on that.
But, thank you, man. Yeah. Thank you. And congrats on both of the albums. I'm looking forward to it. Like I was telling Cass earlier when you dipped out, I never push play on anything SI related that is not top tier hip hop. And to be quite honest, a good time. So with that being said, man, with that being said, man, I appreciate y'all too. And y'all have a good day, all right?
Peace.
All right, Joe.
Peace.
Peace.